Hey, we're live. I was sitting here without my weight screen on for the last minute or two getting ready for you guys, but you're already here. Uh, Good afternoon. Good morning if you're out on the West Coast or in the Midwest or the western part of the country. I'm Brian Manning and I'm an asylum lawyer. My law firm helps immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. And this is the Asylum Answer Show where I'm going to answer your questions about winning asylum in the United States. So my law firm, we're called Political Asylum Lawyers, and we're based in Texas, but it doesn't matter where we're based because we help immigrants all over the country. So it doesn't matter where you live. If you think you might want to talk to us, you can schedule. It looks like this when you go to schedule on your phone. It's super, super easy. And look, the place that you can do it, where you can go to schedule a consultation with us, is this web address, winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. All right. All right. Now, say hello. See who we got in the chat. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Love to see where you guys are at. Nice. Thanks for joining us over on TikTok. We've got, okay. Deal Tracer. Hello. Welcome to on TikTok. Lots of folks over on YouTube. What does that say? Tattoo Junkie. Life Art. Yilin Ong says hello. Good day. We got good day. Hi, Mr. Brian. Nick says hello or hi. Ata says hi, Brian. We got Hud saying greetings from Seattle. We got Mecha and says hi, Brian. Greetings from New York. We got Shafiqul Islam says hi, sir. I'm always watching your lectures. Thank you. Thanks for joining us and thanks for watching. We got questions coming in about EADs, about lots of things. Oh, nice. Yilin Ong says I've done the consultation this morning with you. You did the consultation with my law firm this morning. Good to see you here, and I'm glad that you did a consultation this morning. I hope it went well. I hope that we were able to give you information and feedback and to just get you oriented, and hope that we could explain to you in some detail the ways that we think that we could help you. Yeah, say hello, say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Love to see where you guys are at. So look, I want to go and tell you guys about a few more things that have coming in the news lately. By the way, TikTok, I'm going to be showing my screen on this, and you should go to YouTube and watch this. Go to YouTube and search for Political Asylum Lawyers. That's where you can find all my best stuff. I've got lots of very detailed tutorials and trainings on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search for Political Asylum Lawyers, and you'll find our channel, and you're going to get the full experience of this show over on YouTube. All right. And be sure to subscribe because you don't want to miss the stuff that I'm sharing on there. Lots of updates, but also lots of really in-depth tutorials and trainings that I think are going to help you to increase significantly your chances for asylum success. Okay. Listen, we've got a lot of important news to cover. I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer and an ex-government asylum officer, and I'm here to keep you informed on developments of interest to the immigrant community. So let me tell you what's going on in just the past couple days. We've got, first up, Trump plans a major military deployment to block access at the border. Now, the Trump administration says it's sending around 10,000 troops, military troops, to the southern border to stop asylum seekers from entering. Now, officials say that Border Patrol can now turn away people if they suspect potential health concerns, even without actually pinpointing any actual disease or problem. Now, the claim is that migrants may have picked something up on their way to the U.S. and the countries they traveled through. And this breaks from decades of policy that usually let people request asylum once they step onto American soil. Now, immigration groups warn that it could essentially shut down the asylum process, at least for people coming to the border, leaving people fleeing persecution with nowhere to turn. Now, critics also worry that this large military deployment is more about politics than public health, and it might severely limit the rights of those who have no other safety net in place. And for many, this step erases a fundamental protection guaranteed by law for a very long time. So scary news there, right? But it only gets worse, or just as bad, let's say. All right, so we've got the Trump administration moves to rapidly deport immigrants from Biden-era programs. Now, this is huge. This is a big deal. The Department of Homeland Security has a new rule that lets ICE, the people that do the deportations, quickly deport immigrants who came through Biden's CBP-1 application appointments or the humanitarian parole program for Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Haiti that's known as the CHNV program. Now, over 1.4 million people got temporary legal status here under these two programs, and it was usually valid for 2 years. It's called parole. But the Trump team says it won't honor that parole, treating people as undocumented and pushing them possibly into fast-track deportations that skip immigration court altogether. Now, officials say they'll prioritize people who've been here for over a year but have not filed for asylum, suggesting that having an asylum application might be a proactive measure, a way to protect yourself from this deportation operation. Okay, I'm going to say more about that in a minute. So meanwhile, the ACLU is suing, saying that this new approach violates due process. Now, immigration advocates worry that it's putting vulnerable people at risk since they relied on these programs, right, that were legal at the time that they benefited from them. Now, many people are wondering if this is the first step in unraveling a bunch more of these Biden-era immigration policies. By the way, if you've been waiting for years for an asylum interview with USCIS, let me know about it in the comments. Let me know how long you've been waiting. We may have a way for you to get your stalled asylum case unstuck. All right. Okay. Back to our asylum and immigration news update. This has been all over the news. A federal judge blocks Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. So a judge just recently temporarily stopped Trump's order that tries to end automatic citizenship for kids born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents. Lawsuits came fast on this from states led by Democrats, with experts saying that the 14th Amendment clearly grants citizenship to just about anyone born here, regardless of their parents' status. So for now, at least, the government must keep issuing passports and otherwise treating these U.S.-born children as citizens. Now, it's the latest in a string of restrictive moves from Trump, including sending troops to the border, speeding up deportations, and many see this birthright citizenship challenge as a direct assault on long-held legal norms. And critics are saying that it's a political play to energize anti-immigrant sentiment, while its supporters say that it targets chain migration. Now, this court battle that's underway could take a while, but implementation of that executive order is on hold until further notice. All right. Our friends from India should pay attention to this one. This is an interesting development. India agrees to accept the return of 18,000 citizens from the United States. So India has changed course and agreed to take back roughly 18,000 of its citizens living in the U.S. without permission. So before now, India often would not confirm that someone was in fact an Indian citizen. So deportation attempts to India stalled. They couldn't do it. Now, this new deal looks like it's part of India's push to stay on good terms with the White House and protect valuable programs like the H-1B visa that a lot of its citizens benefit from. Now, with Trump's team promising to boost deportation numbers, officials see this as a big win. Immigration experts say the agreement could pave the way for similar deals with other countries, potentially speeding up deportations across the board. Now, some believe India is making this move because it doesn't want to jeopardize trade and tech ties with the United States. And critics worry that it's going to leave people in limbo, facing quick removal. Now, as more undocumented Indian nationals are identified, we might, see those deportation figures climb rapidly. Okay. All right. A couple more news items for you guys, or at least one. The Department of Justice has halted immigration support by federally funded legal services. So the Justice Department, which controls the immigration courts, has ordered legal aid groups that get federal funding to stop helping immigrants in deportation proceedings. Now, this sudden change could leave many people, especially asylum seekers, without the guidance that they need. These organizations typically offer orientation on court procedures, explain legal rights, and sometimes provide free lawyers. Now, studies show that having an attorney can dramatically boost asylum approval rates. Immigration advocates say forcing people to go it alone undermines due process because the court system is too complicated for non-lawyers. Meanwhile, supporters of the policy claim that it's, saving taxpayer money and that it deters frivolous cases. But critics argue it's another step by the Trump administration to strip away protections from low income immigrants, the ones that have fewer resources, many of whom may miss crucial filing deadlines or fail to present strong evidence and lose valid claims, leaving them at greater risk of deportation. All right. Now, listen, all of these news updates show an immigration climate growing increasingly tough for those seeking safety and stability. So listen, it's more crucial than ever to stand up for immigrant rights, and you got to present the strongest asylum case that you possibly can. Under this second Trump term, this process is going to be even harder, I think. So don't wait to get help. If you want to talk about your case, if you think you might want help securing your future in America through asylum, then go right now to winasylum.com. It's WINASYOUM.com. Again, that's winasylum.com. And that is where you can schedule an asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. We want to talk with you. We want to see what's going on. We want to talk to you about your case and really tell you whether we think that we are in a position to help you. Okay. And if we think that we might be able to help you, we're going to tell you how. We're going to explain in detail what the concrete next steps would be to give you the strongest possible chance of securing your future in America through asylum. So again, I'm Brian Manning. It's really a pleasure to support you in your asylum journey. Let us go now, having said all that, to the questions. With that great news, that was sarcasm. It was all bad news. Look, immigration, being involved in immigration, being an asylum lawyer, and being immigrants, who either are seeking asylum or have a loved one seeking asylum, most of you, it's hard because most of the news out there, most of the things that we hear and see is bad. It's bad news. But look, there is some good news. There will be good news. I'm going to highlight the good news, not just the bad, okay? Not just the tough stuff. And listen, we're going to keep winning asylum, okay? It's true. I believe, I'm confident that denial rates are going to climb under Trump. It's going to be harder to win asylum, harder than ever, but it's not going to be impossible. We won asylum cases under Trump last time. We're going to win them again, okay? We're just going to work even harder to be even more prepared, present the strongest case possible. It's going to take a lot of work, both for you and for me and my team. But that's what we're here for. That's what we live for. That's what we do every day, all day, is fight for immigrants, fight for asylum seekers, and we're going to keep doing that. All right. Enough of that. Tell me what questions you have about asylum in the United States. All right. Let's go to the questions, comments and questions. What do we have here? All right. Greetings from Seattle, says Bobo SWTS. Hi, Brian. Checking in from Nashville, says Seymour on YouTube. Thanks, Seymour, for joining us. I have 75 more days on my clock to apply for the work authorization Social Security number. What are my worries? Says, I can't read that. One tattoo junkie. Yeah, I get it. Look, so the question is this. Should you be worried about your ability to get a work permit based on your pending asylum claim now that Trump is back in office? Look, I've not heard anything indicating that they're going to just try to stop giving work permits to people that are asylum seekers. So that's good news, right? But look, we do know from the first Trump administration that they want to make your life as difficult as possible. They want to bring pain for asylum seekers. And a way to do that would be to gum up the system. By that, I mean, slow it down, not approve these quickly. Because right now, first-time applicants are getting approved very quickly. First-time applicants for an EAD, when it's based on asylum, it goes really quickly. But that could change. They could not give enough resources to those adjudications that would slow it down and just make life painful for people. So look, at the end of the day, is it possible that it might take longer than expected? I think that's very possible, but is it going to just go away and you're not going to be able to get a work permit at all ever? I don't think so. I'm pretty hopeful that will not happen. Okay. All right. Let us go to the questions. We got the Stunning, who says, hi, Brian. Hello. We got Edem Agbenafa, says, hello, Mr. Brian. Greetings from Ghana. Greetings. Glad to be with you, or glad to have you with us. Let's put it like that. Can I petition for my family member right away after getting asylum approved? And if so, how long can it take to be adjudicated? The question, let's see. Good question. Alrighty. So, look, The HUDs, thank you. And the question is this. After you win asylum, can you apply immediately to bring family members here on the basis of your asylum? And if so, how long is that going to take? The first answer is easy. Yes, you can. It's got to be it can only be though your spouse and your children who were under 21 at the time you applied for asylum. Doesn't matter how old they are now, but they have to remain unmarried even now, even through the time that they actually come here. Okay. The second question, let's go look at USCIS processing times. I Googled USCIS processing times. I'm clicking on processing times form. I'm going to select I-7, where are you? I-730, refugee/asylee relative petition. Form category, there's only one option. Office, it says all service centers, so only one option. Get processing times. Let's see. You can basically think of this as an average, 10.5 months. All right, that's the average to get that approved, but it's going to take a little longer than that. They're going to have to then go do an appointment at the embassy and do some other processing, so a little longer than that, probably. Okay. You can't count on these timelines though. I mean, it changes, right? Sometimes it's quicker than that. Sometimes it'll be longer than that. If your family is at risk, like if there's in danger or there's serious problems, you can ask to expedite the adjudication of that petition, the form I-730. That's the form that you use to do this. And that's what we were just looking at. Okay. Sarah says, hello, Brian. I'm Sarah from New York City. Do you think the processing time for asylum will be faster than before? Good question. The question is this. Are asylum processing times going to change under the new Trump administration? So look, everyone in the US knows of people who've been waiting for many years for their asylum interview, right? We all know people that have been waiting for 3 years, 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, right? So you may be surprised to hear that actually recently in the last few months, it's actually been going really, really, really quickly for most people. Most people who have applied in the last few months under Biden were getting their interviews really quickly. It's kind of a complicated backstory as to why that's happening, but I do expect that to keep happening under Trump, okay? So if you're applying now, listen, it's true. It's still true that it might take a long time. You do have to be psychologically prepared for that when you apply, that it might be a long time. But there's actually a pretty good chance right now that it's going to be like you're going to get your interview 1 to 3 months after applying. So you got to be ready. You got to present a strong case on paper and be super prepared for your interview. Get ready. Okay. If you guys want to talk with one of our asylum professionals, then I want you to go to winasylum.com. If you go there, it's super easy to get set up on your phone, on your mobile, or on your desktop with an appointment with us. It just takes like a minute to click a few buttons, select a time that works for you, and then boom, you're ready. All right. The page that I want you to go to do that is winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. Winasylum.com. That's where you can schedule an asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. Okay. This is where we're going to go deep with you. We're going to get to know you. We're going to talk about your goals, your immigration goals, the life you're trying to build here in America. We're going to get to know your case, your situation, and we're going to do an analysis and tell you whether we think we're in a position to help you. If we think that we can help you, we're going to tell you how. And listen, when you call other lawyers, I want you to ask them, how are you going to help me? Tell me concrete steps that you're going to take to help me win my case, to give me the best possible chance to secure my future in America through asylum, because most lawyers won't tell you. Why? Because most lawyers don't have a plan. Most lawyers don't have an actual strategy, okay, that they've actually meticulously thought through and planned about how to present a strong asylum case and how to prepare an applicant, that's you, to do the best possible job in presenting their case on the day of their asylum interview. But we have a plan for that. We call it an asylum action plan. And there's 3 core elements, but those get tailored to you and your particular circumstances. Okay. So if you want to talk about that and see if we think we might be able to help you, go book online. It's super easy. It's quick and easy to schedule a consultation with us. It takes like a minute. Just go to the webpage, find a time that works for you, enter your name, and just answer a couple super quick questions, and boom, we're ready at winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. All right. For asylum cases that were dismissed without prejudice via PD, are they at risk of being deported? Ooh, good question. The question is this. if you had your case dismissed from immigration court, are you at risk of getting deported now under Trump? So look, having an asylum application pending may be a way to avoid deportation. That has long been the policy of USCIS. So they don't, if you're not in deportation proceedings, they don't put you in deportation proceedings while you have an asylum claim pending. If you're already in deportation proceedings, they at least don't detain you or try to speed up your deportation until your case runs its process and through its course and you get a decision. Trump's people have indicated recently that they're going to respect that they're going to let the process play out. In fact, they just said the other day they're going to target for expedited removal certain people without status. But the memo that they wrote, that the director, that was given to the ICE officers carrying out these deportation, indicates that they're not going to target people with an asylum application pending. So if your case was dismissed from court, you're probably out of status unless you have TPS. You should apply for asylum. If you still fear being harmed in your country, you should apply for asylum with USCIS because it may protect you from getting put in deportation proceedings. Okay, because you're at risk right now. Without status, you're at big risk. Okay, or even if you have TPS, you're at risk because they've indicated, the Trump people have it, they might strip that from people. So I recommend, if you're afraid of being harmed in your country, talk to an asylum lawyer now about applying for asylum. Look, this is a big deal. I mean, this was one of the news items I touched on a second ago, where it was. Let me show you again what it was, everyone, because this one's important. This is really important. It's this one. So Trump officials move to quickly expel migrants Biden allowed in temporarily. Trump is expanding what they call expedited removal or fast deportations to be able to kick people out of the country with no process really, without even getting to go to an immigration court judge and see if it's legal, unless the person affirmatively says to the ICE agents, "Oh, I'm afraid of being harmed in my country," or "I want to seek asylum." Okay, and what something that is really important to understand is that CBP-1 and this other program, CHNV for Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela. These are two programs that Biden put in place that over 1 million people have come into or currently have status through in the United States. They have parole status. So they have legal status. Yet what Trump is saying is that they're going to take that away. They're going to overlook that and pretend that you don't have that or not count that as valid status and target these people for deportations. Okay. So where is that? In here, though, we see that it says they're talking about a memo that the New York Times got access to that talks about this, right? About how they're going after these people. All right. But it says the memo suggests that officials prioritize immigrants who have been in the country longer than a year, but who have not applied for asylum. That's key to me. I think that does indicate that the Trump administration is going to keep respecting the asylum process as they've said they would and let it run its course before they try to deport people. So if your case was dismissed from immigration court and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should consider going to apply for asylum if you still fear being harmed in your country. If you came on CBP-1 or through the CHNV program and you have parole and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should consider applying for asylum right away, immediately. If you're afraid, actually it's simpler than all that. If you're afraid of being harmed in your country and you haven't yet applied for asylum, you should talk with an asylum lawyer about whether it makes sense for you to apply. I'm not saying everyone that hasn't applied for asylum should apply. I'm not saying even everyone that's afraid of being harmed should apply if they haven't applied. I'm saying they should at least talk to an asylum lawyer about whether it makes sense for them to apply. All right. We got Joshua, who says, "Hey, Brian, watching from Nashville. You've been amazing with sharing and breaking down the latest news on immigration." Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching and thanks for commenting. All right. Hello, Brian. Do you think Trump will stop the marriage-based green card? No, he's going to make it harder for everyone to get immigration benefits, green cards, asylum, and everything. But no, he's not going to he's not going to stop marriage-based green cards. All right. Good question. Kent Bummer says, if a person just wants an asylum mock interview, how much do you charge for that as a one-off? Yeah, good question. So, look, I'm checking for you to give you the right number. No, that's not it. I'm going to tell you in 1 second exactly how much we charge for excuse me, a mock interview. There it is. All right, so the answer, let's start with the question. The question is this. Let's say that you might not, excuse me. All right, I think I'm better. The question is this. Let's say that you might not be in a position financially to be able to hire a lawyer to represent you in your full asylum case, but you want to be as prepared as possible. Is there anything short that, someone like my law firm can give to you, can do for you, that short of full representation, that's still going to help you for your interview, like a mock interview? By mock interview, I mean a practice interview, a simulated interview. So yeah, we do that with our clients, and we do actually offer it as a standalone service. Okay. In case, listen, the best thing is to hire us to fully represent you in the rest of your asylum case. If you can't make that work, then the next best thing, hire us for a mock interview. Okay. Because the interview is hard. It's harder than you expect. The mock interview, our clients, I think, would tell you, was the most important thing in all of the representation. Everything we did, they think that that's the thing that helped them the most to win their asylum case. Okay. So if you want to talk about this, go to winasylum.com. That's what it looks like when you book. It's super, super quick and easy. Just select a time and you just go to winasylum.com, winasylum.com, to schedule an asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. Do it right now. Okay. Yeah. And listen, the cost is currently $3,500 for a mock interview. So this includes a 2-hour mock interview where we go through everything you're going to experience on the day of the real interview, beginning to end. And then we do a debrief session a day or 2 or 3 later of like 30 minutes where we give you feedback and just all of our best tips. Look, the interview is harder than you expect. The officer doesn't just let you sort of explain, yourself and tell your story. Actually, you know what? This is actually a question that we get all the time, and the question is this. The question is this. So why would your asylum interview be hard if you're telling the truth and you've got a legitimate, case where you've been harmed or threatened and you're really afraid of being harmed in your country? What could be so hard about just going there and talking about it, just telling the officer about your case? Well, look, it is hard. It's harder than you expect. The officer doesn't just let you tell your story and explain yourself. Rather, they're asking you question after question after question after question, rapid fire. They're constantly interrupting you. They're changing topics frequently. And the sad truth is that a lot of them are anti-immigrant and they're just looking for an excuse to deny you. Some of them are actively trying to trip you up to make you make mistakes so they can deny you. But look, the good news is that with the proper preparation, including the mock interview, full scale, whole thing, simulated interview that we do with our clients, you can go into the real interview with confidence, prepared, ready to do a good job in minimizing chances for errors. So with the proper preparation, you can drastically increase your chances for asylum success. Okay. So Kent Bummer, Kent, go to winasylum.com and schedule right now. Go right now and schedule. I think we have appointments left for next week, I think. So go schedule an appointment and we'll tell you in more detail how we might be able to help you through a mock interview. Okay. Damaris says, how much is your consultation fee? At this moment that I'm doing this live show that we're talking, it's free. There is no charge. That's about to change. Okay. It's going to start costing it probably within a few days. We're going to change that. I'm almost certain. So if you want to talk with us for free, now's the time to go schedule that consultation. All right. Go to winasylum.com, Damaris, winasylum.com. All right. What happens to asylum seekers who've been here for over 10 years? Asks G Code. Good question. Thanks for asking it. The question is this. What if you've been waiting for your asylum interview for a decade, 10 years? What can you do? And do you get any benefit from having been waiting all that time? First of all, if you're sick of waiting for your interview and you want to get your interview so you can win your case and move on with your life with confidence and certainty about your future, about your safety, and the future you want to build in America, then you should sue the government in what's called an asylum delay lawsuit. We also call this a mandamus lawsuit. It's an extremely effective tool that our clients love because it works. Now, the other part of the question was, do you get some kind of benefit, or does it help you, the fact that you've been here for so long, maybe even like 10 years? No, it doesn't help you. In fact, every passing year that goes by, every month that goes by, honestly, I think makes it harder to win asylum. You want to have your interview and your decision as soon as possible. So you need to take action now, okay? Don't wait. Go to winasylum.com, like right now, and schedule a consultation with one of our asylum professionals, because we need to talk about moving your case forward, okay? winasylum.com. Is Minnesota a good place for asylum, and are they having interviews there right now? Asks the science of everything. Yeah, it is. It's controlled, or it's overseen by the Chicago Asylum Office, which is one of the better ones. It's not the best, but it's one of the better ones in terms of having reasonable officers and a pretty high approval rate. So yeah, it's pretty good. All right. And yes, they are doing asylum interviews there. All right. Yo, what's up? Says Esper Knight. Hello. Oh, man. Aline Blind says, I've been waiting for an interview for 9 years. It still didn't come. So look, to me, the question is this. You've been waiting for your asylum interview for a long time. 9 years? Yeah, that's a very, very long time. What are your options? Look, this is easy. You need to sue the government. If you're ready to move on with your life, to get this behind you, to get your interview so you can win your case and move forward with confidence and certainty about your future in America, you should sue the government in an asylum delay lawsuit. We filed, look, past performance does not guarantee future results. Okay. Having said that, I want to tell you that we filed over 100 of these in the last, year and a half, and we haven't lost one yet. Again, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to win your case if you hire us or whatever, but I do want to stress that it's a powerful tool that works really well, and our clients love it because it works. All right. So if you're sick of waiting, and look, I do think that the sooner you get your case considered and heard by the asylum officer, the better your chances for success, especially now under Trump. So we should talk about moving your stalled asylum case forward at winasylum.com. Go to winasylum.com. All right. Schedule a consultation right now. Let's talk. All right. Is TPS, Mulualem says, is TPS considered undocumented, and can you get deported? Good question. Very timely question. The question is this. Is the Trump administration considering you undocumented and liable, therefore, to be deported if you have temporary protected status, TPS? Maybe. Look, they have said they haven't signed an executive order yet saying that, or indicating that they're going to go and target people with TPS. But before the inauguration, yeah, Trump's people did say that they're thinking about not extending TPS for people who already have it. And there is concern that they might proactively take it away from you if you already have it. And if that happens, then you'll be left without status, right? And you'll be placed in deportation proceedings and might get deported unless you have an asylum application pending. If you have an asylum application pending, there's a very good chance that that's going to protect you from being put in deportation proceedings. In fact, Trump's team signaled as much yesterday in a memo that was obtained by the New York Times. So having an asylum application pending, look, if you're afraid of being harmed in your country and you haven't applied for asylum, you should talk to an asylum lawyer right away. Okay? Gagan Brar says, do you think people stuck in LIFO filed in 2015, 16, 17 might get interviews anytime soon? Well, actually, LIFO started in 2018. So your 2015, 16, 17 is pre-LIFO. That was actually FIFO, first in, first out. But I'm going to address your question all the same. Okay. So the question is this: are people who've been waiting for several years for their interview, let's say you filed a long time ago, back in 2015 or 16 or 17, before there was a change in 2018 in the way that cases are scheduled. If you filed way back then, are you going to get your interview anytime soon? Look, unfortunately, probably not. It's true. There is a tiny, tiny percentage of available interview slots that are reserved for people that are in that backlog that have been waiting a very long time, but that's a very small proportion amount of people. And so the chances of you getting your interview, if you filed, a long time ago, several years ago, are very, very, very slim, unless you sue the government. Look, if you filed in 2015, 2016, 2017, you are in a very strong position to have success with a mandamus lawsuit. This is the asylum delay lawsuit that I love talking about because it works. Our clients love it because it works. We've had a ton of success with these lately, and I love helping people with this. And if you want to talk with us about it, go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. Let's talk. Okay? All right. Leonardo asked the same thing. He said, "Hey, Brian, do you believe that people already in the backlog will also have their case heard sooner?" No, I think it's only going to be sooner for people that apply right now. So if you've been waiting multiple years, Leonardo, we've talked about this on this live. I don't remember where you are, Leonardo. Where you are or how long your case has been pending, but you may be in a position to have a good chance for success with suing and getting it, scheduled through an asylum delay lawsuit. But we should talk about that in detail, Leonardo. I don't know if you've done a consultation with us or not. If you haven't, I hope you will at winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. Yaelin says, "I'd like to do a consultation with you, but I don't see any slots available to reserve. When will you be available? My case has been pending for 5 years in San Francisco. Please advise me." I'm not doing consultations right now. I was. You may have seen me on the schedule. Even a few days ago, I was appearing on our schedule as an option. But I'm not doing this. I'm not doing the consultations right now. So it's doing it with me really isn't an option. But look, my team is great. My team of asylum professionals are outstanding. I've helped train them. They're highly trained. They're really good at what they do, and they are in a great position to advise, to understand and tell you your situation and tell you whether we're in a position to help you, and if so, to explain how. All right. Yeah, Yelenong, you said his case has been pending for 5 years. Let's get started. You already did a consultation with us. Assuming that my colleagues told you that we thought we could help you, that we're in a position to offer to represent you. If they said that, then let's get started today. Let's do it today. Look, Galen, I think the longer that you wait, the lower your chances for success. Okay. I've thought that for a long time. I think it's especially true now in the second Trump era. Okay. I think with every passing month with Trump in office, it's going to become harder and harder to win asylum. Okay. All right. Hamed says, what does it mean that citizenship birthright based in Trump administration is foiled? Oh, the title of this Asylum Answer show. It's a reference to one of the news stories that I discussed earlier. And I'll go back and I'll say a little bit more about it in maybe plainer terms. Where was that? Here it is. All right. So this article talks about this issue. And what it means is, so on his first day in office on January 20th, Trump signed an executive order that said, hey, State Department and other government entities, we no longer recognize people as U.S. citizens if they were born in the United States, but they don't have a parent who is either a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, green card holder. Like basically the government, Trump is saying the executive branch is going to stop recognizing you as a citizen if you were born here to undocumented parents or parents here on a temporary visa status, which is unconstitutional. The U.S. Constitution explicitly says that if you're born on this soil with a few exceptions that don't apply here, that you're a U.S. citizen. So Trump is going against the Constitution. And so a bunch of states sued to say, judge, tell him he can't do that. Tell him that's unconstitutional, that it's against the law. And the judge agreed that, yeah, that's unconstitutional. So but it's not like a final decision on the lawsuit. It's like whoa, hold on. The judge said, I think that the people suing are going to win. I think it looks like they have a good case to make that Trump is doing something illegal and it'll ultimately get blocked. So for right now, we're going to pause it. We're going to say, Trump, we think you're probably going to lose. So we're going to pause this implementation of this policy for now while the case runs its course, and then eventually we'll get a final decision later. So right now, if someone is born here at this moment, when someone who is born here without status, born here to parents without status or who didn't have permanent residency or citizenship, if they go and apply for a passport from the State Department right now, the State Department should, as of today, give them the passport. As where on Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, before the court blocked this policy, the State Department would have said, nope, can't give you a passport because we don't consider you to be a citizen. Okay. Hey, Ali, you said, I've called your consultant about 2 hours ago about my situation, but unfortunately they said that I have to pay $6,000 before they can consider me. Well, not to do a consultation. You don't have to pay $6,000 to do a consultation, but our fees, if you actually hire us to be your lawyer, yeah, they range from like $6,500 is the cheapest of all the services that we provide. It's only for a very particular service, but it's actually more for most of them. Most cases are between $10,000 and $14,000 with payment plans available. But that's, to be clear, just Ali, I want to make sure that you understand that that's not to do a consultation or to even like talk to you. That's only if you actually hire us. But, a lot of people, they don't want to do a consultation, waste their time and waste our time if they know there's like no way that they would ever want to or be able to pay that much. And so that's why our receptionists and our teammates tell people about how much we charge so they can think about whether we are the best fit for them, or whether they, might need to look elsewhere. Okay. In light of the fees. All right. Kent Bummer says, do you do mock interviews yourself with clients or it's with your team? Yeah, no, it'd be with my team. I don't really do them. But look, my team is better than me when it comes to this. When it comes to, listen, I like to think, this is maybe just ego, but I like to think that I'm like still the best in the law firm when it comes to like strategy and stuff around asylum cases. But when it comes to actually like implementing it and advocating and preparing people for things like a hearing or an interview and representing them in the moment, in the heat of the moment at an interview or hearing, I think my lawyers are better than me. Like they're just really good litigators. They're people that have these special skills because that's what I hired. I wanted to find people even better than me at that. And so that's what I tried to do. All right. And I think that they're great. I've trained them, based on what I know, based on sort of my insider perspective, the insider knowledge that I gained working for the government's two main immigration agencies for refugee and asylum matters for 11 years. I've trained all our team on that. And they're good. They're excellent. All right, Kent. So go ahead, Kent, go call us, get that call. You can call if you listen, online scheduling is easier and quicker, but if you want to call us, you can do that too. Our telephone number is 713-909-0401. Again, it's 713-909-0401. But like, honestly, truly the easiest way to get on our schedule is to just schedule a consultation online at winasylum.com. WINASYLUM.com. Schedule a consultation. Go do it right now. All right. We've got, is there a payment plan for the mock interview? Says Ian Realm. No, not for that one. That one costs $3,500 at present. And there's not a payment plan for that one. You'd have to pay all of that one up front, the $3,500. For our more expensive cases, like where we help you with the whole asylum case that range from like $10,000 to $14,000, there's payment plans for those. But for the mock interview that at present costs $3,500, you do have to pay that all at once. Easy says, hi, Brian, your office helped me win my case. All right. Congratulations. Thank you for coming on and telling folks about it. Are you hiring any part-time bilingual paralegal in Chinese? Just want to help people like me, but language is barrier to get a good attorney like you. Thank you for thinking about that and for asking. I mean, not at the moment, but look, my law firm's glowing. I said glowing. We're glowing because we're so happy about helping people like you win asylum. We're growing quickly. We're growing really quickly. So yeah, we may hire a Mandarin speaking assistant or paralegal or asylum professional to do consultations, something like that. We might do that in the nearest future. So stay in touch about that. All right, follow back up with us. Send us an email every few months and ask us if we're considering something like that. All right. Whoa, please be mindful not to take it. AAE says, please be mindful not to take advantage of people in their time of need. Please make it clear you are not an attorney, in all caps. But I am. I am an attorney, AAE. I'm an asylum lawyer. I'm a member of a state bar. I have a law degree from a U.S. law school. I'm a member of a state bar. That makes me a lawyer. Yeah. We've got, but look, this gets to a good point. I'm actually glad you said that, AAE, because there are a lot of people out there, including on social media, that are not lawyers, that talk about things that they really don't know that well. They may sound confident. They may sound like they know what they're doing, but they don't. You got to be really, really, really careful. Who you listen to, who you take advice from, who you get help from matters immensely for your case. Okay. Don't jeopardize your future by relying on a document preparer or a form filler or a paralegal who's not a lawyer. Okay. Get an asylum lawyer, not just a lawyer and not just an immigration lawyer. I think you should look for an asylum lawyer, someone who focuses on asylum. If that's the problem that you need solved, you should go to the person who specializes in that, who works every day on solving the problem that you need solved. Okay. That's why we don't take other cases. We don't take marriage-based green card cases. We don't take employment or investment-based immigration cases. We want to get really, really, really good. We want to be really great at one type of law, one specific niche down area, so that we can pour all of our energy, all of our resources into being great at it, okay? Into staying on top of it, staying up with it, because it's complicated and it's moving fast. And if your attention as a lawyer is spread between various practice areas or various different areas within immigration, you're going to be a master of none. Meaning you're not going to be able to be a true expert, in my opinion, in any of them. Okay. All right. Mayhouse says, does providing the wrong place of birth in the asylum application for my spouse lead to misrepresentation in my asylum case? Good question. The question is this: what happens if you put something in your asylum application that's incorrect? You make a mistake, like you just put, for example, the wrong place of birth for your spouse. Is that going to cause problems? Could it lead to a finding of fraud or misrepresentation that not only gets you denied, but can keep you from ever getting any U.S. immigration benefits again in the future? No, don't worry about it. Look, when you recognize a mistake, you can fix it ahead of time by submitting an amended asylum application that corrects the mistake, or you can address it at your interview. You do need to address it at latest near the beginning of the interview, when the officer is going over your application with you. At your interview, they're going to go through almost every single little box, every question on the application form. And during that review, you need to say, oh, officer, I noticed there's a mistake at number whatever. Could we please change that? And then they'll change it. And even if it's something substantive, more important, like central to your case, as long as you make the officer aware of the error and you ask to make the change before you really get into the substantive questions at your interview, you'll be okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right. What about Indiana? Is Indiana a good place for asylum seekers? Says Chuckles Chronicles WTB. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, like I said earlier, same thing when I was talking about Minnesota. Indiana also is covered by the Chicago Asylum Office. And Chicago Asylum Office, yeah, it's pretty good. I think they're pretty reasonable and pretty good. All right. Where was this? Your boss says, hey, Brian, I hired your firm to file mandamus. All right. Thank you for your confidence in us. Let's do it. We're going to work hard for you. We're going to fight hard. and make you proud or do a great job. All right. So thank you, Earbaz, for hiring us and for commenting. He said, Earbaz says, I moved from Seattle, Washington to New Jersey in last year, but I still have a Washington state driver's license and not New Jersey's. Will this affect me during my asylum interview? The best thing to do is get the new driver's license because you're supposed to. When you are actually living in a new place, you're supposed to get that place's driver's license. Okay. So, I mean, the bottom line is I encourage you to do that sooner rather than later, like now. Go get the New Jersey driver's license. If you don't do it, what happens? Will it hurt you at your interview? I mean, probably not. It probably will not be an issue, but there is a little bit of a risk that, the officer will be like, oh, I think that you were lying and you don't really live here, but you wanted to have your interview here, so you gave a fake address. Why haven't you changed your driver's license? Your driver's license still shows your old address. The risk of that being a problem, I think, is pretty low. But why take any risk at all around this issue if you can pretty easily fix it by just going and getting the updated driver's license of where you actually live? I would do that. I recommend you do that. All right. AJ says, do you think that asylum seekers from countries that have travel bans will expedite their interview? No. All right. Nice. Yusuf says, I was granted asylum in 2023. Congratulations. And I've applied for my green card. Now they've sent me a request for initial evidence. What would that be? And should I be worried? Okay, good question. The question is this. What does the government want from you? If you apply for a green card based on having won asylum and you get a request for evidence, RFE, what do they want from you and what happens next? Should you be worried? Well, look, the RFE itself tells you what they want from you. Like, it should explain, we want you to send in A, B, and C documents, or we need to see this letter or this thing. Like, the RFE should tell you what they want from you. And so you got to give them that. You got to do it by the deadline that's stated in the RFE. Okay. And if you do that, it depends on whether you've satisfied what they asked for, and giving them what they asked for doesn't guarantee that you'll win your case. But I mean, in most cases it does. In many green card cases like this, it's just, do you have proof to show that you've lived in the United States for a year after having won asylum, that you've been physically present here? That's usually easy to do, and usually it leads to a grant. So whether you should be worried about it depends on what they ask for and what issues it might highlight or lead to, but I don't know what that is without reading it. Okay. All right. Coal cashier says, I applied for asylum for my wife and son. They went for the biometrics appointment, but the lawyer needs $1,500 to file their work permit. They will not file the work permit until I pay the fee. Are they in danger? What do you mean? Are your wife and child in danger of being like deported or something? No, I don't think so, because whether they have the work permit doesn't really matter right now. The thing that I think will protect a lot of people from being possibly put in removal proceedings or deported is the fact that they have a pending asylum application. And you have proof of that in the form of your asylum receipt notice, the letter that you get that says, we accepted your application, it's pending as of X date. That's what you need to be able to prove you have a pending asylum case, not your work permit. Okay. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that issue, but look, I would get it. It's going to make life easier to be able to get the work permit. Yeah. Yeah, look, so this is interesting. The science of everything says, I've been waiting for the interview for close to 3 months now, and it was expedited, but I need your help. Please help me. Well, we would love to talk with you, see what's going on, and tell you whether we think we're in a position to help you. I hope that you'll go to winasylum.com, the science of everything. Go to WINASYLUM.com and schedule a consultation with us right now. Do it right now. Okay, we want to talk. We want to see what's going on and tell you whether we think we're in a position to help you, all right? But you raise an interesting issue of sometimes USCIS, the Asylum Office, says, yes, we will expedite your case based on like urgent humanitarian concerns, but then nothing happens. They just don't. They don't do it. They don't actually schedule the interview. They just ignore it afterwards. Happens a lot. Science of everything. If you've been waiting a long time, over 3 years, 5 in some circumstances, we should talk about suing the government, because even though they've said they're going to expedite your case, it appears they're not, or they're not giving you your interview yet. You may be in a position to sue to force the government to give you your interview. Okay. All right. Ancient Theology says, I applied for asylum in 2018 in Texas, no interview. Should I move to California or Oregon for a higher chance of approval? Well, first of all, you should sue the government to force them to give you your interview. I think there's a very high chance for success if you do that, of getting your interview scheduled through a mandamus lawsuit. We love this thing. We've been doing it a ton lately with a lot of success. Our clients love it because it works. If you want to talk with us about that, call us at 713-909-0401. 713-909-0401. But look, the other thing, to address the question is this. Should you move to a place where the Asylum Office has a high approval rate? There we are. Yeah. So you'll have a better chance of winning your asylum case. Because look, at the Asylum Office, the office that will hear your case and make a decision goes by, it's determined by where you live. And if you live in the jurisdiction of a place with a low rate of approval, like say Florida, where the Miami and Tampa offices have low rates, could you and should you move to around San Francisco, where the San Francisco Asylum Office usually has the highest approval rate in the country? Yeah, honestly, if you're able and willing to move, I think it can make sense. You shouldn't lie about this. Sometimes people will lie and be like, oh, yeah, I moved USCIS, and they'll provide a fake address or the address of a friend or something. Don't do that. That's immigration fraud. But I see nothing wrong with moving if you legitimately move for this purpose, and it can be very beneficial to do so. So, yeah, I think you should consider it. All right. All right. That's it. Gotta run, guys. It's Friday. I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. Look, it's been a hectic, crazy week with the Trump administration going hard after immigrants, and in particular asylum seekers. It's not going to end with this week. It's going to be a hard 4 years. But we're ready. Don't despair. Don't despair. We're going to push back hard. We're going to fight hard for immigrants and asylum seekers. Okay. It's not impossible to win. We won before under Trump. We're going to win again under Trump. We can do this together. We'll get through this together. Stay strong, stay tough, be brave. All right. And I'll catch you in the next live. But if you want to talk with us, it's super quick and easy to schedule a consultation. It looks like that on your phone right there. You can get set up in a minute or two if you just go to winasylum.com. Again, that URL, just open up a browser on your laptop, your desktop, your laptop, or your mobile phone, and just type in winasylum.com and hit enter. And there you are, winasylum.com. Let's talk. All right. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you for being with us. I'm Brian Manning, and it really is